Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrive Time Show. Let your boo begin. Where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching and proving systems to make your ends. So you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Suit will call you Franklin because you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl because you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kids that your wallet's overweight, but it used to be thin. Thumbs away, this is Clay broadcaster with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O, O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of the show is to help you soar. Boom. Welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, sent here on a mission to get you into a great financial position. However, we talk on this show a lot, Chup, about the F6 goals.
That's right.
Because if you have success in the world of business, but you don't have success in the world of your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. What have you really won if you gain the world financially, but you lose your family, right? What do you really gain? You probably, Chup, is that a good move? Would you endorse the strategy of making a ton of, just financially speaking, making a ton of money and then cutting it in half after a divorce? Is that a financial strategy that you could endorse?
I do not endorse that. I would not endorse that.
Okay, so you might recommend staying married?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm married. I've been married for 10 or 11 years now. Thank you for the shoulder rub, Steve Currington.
But you'd also recommend having big success.
Big success while being married is wonderful.
But I've heard it's not possible to do both. Do you agree with that, Chup? I mean, do you?
I disagree with that.
Fine. So what we did, we brought a case study onto today's show. We're studying this man. This is a man who's a Christian pop star kind of a guy. And, Chup, we can't relate to him because he has talent.
Right.
I can play the wood block. I've upgraded to the chime recently where I can...
Nice. You've got the
That's me on the mic. I'm playing the mic. And this guy can actually sing.
Yeah.
His wife turns out that she can sing. They tour together.
Angels.
It's copacetic.
Couple angels.
I'm excited to welcome inside the Thrive Time Show studios, Mr. Colton Dixon. Sir, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How about you guys?
Well, I'm excited that you and your wife are here. I think it's fun. I work with my wife, and my wife is more intelligent than me. I don't know if this is true for you,
Very
but
much so.
So Miss Annie, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, where did you guys tour last? Where are the last maybe 2-3 cities where I know you're all around the world all the time, and you probably wake up in a hotel saying, "Where are we?"
Yeah.
But where have you been recently? What are some of the highlights?
We toured the Southeast a lot. I was actually just in Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
A lot of blue turf.
Yes.
Smurf turf.
A lot of blue turf this time of year.
But, yeah, we tour the Southeast a lot. We'll occasionally get out to the West Coast. We love the West Coast because of the weather. But, yeah, we really just tour any and everywhere United States.
Now, I know your story because people in my office are obsessed with your music, and so I sort of know your story. But for the listeners out there who aren't aware of how you got your quote-unquote overnight success, talk to me about the journey before the overnight success. I want to hear about that because there's not enough conversation about the grind. When did you first want to become a musician professionally? When did that happen?
Yeah, like a lot of young kids, took piano lessons starting at 8 years old. When I was 13, my piano teacher kind of forced me to sing at a recital.
Oh, boy.
It was very uncomfortable and awkward. But
Awesome.
I did that anyway.
Did you sing a Bette Midler song?
No.
Show
From a
tunes.
distance, the ocean meets. Every third grader had to sing that.
I wish I sang a
Okay.
Bette Midler song.
Okay.
Like that. No, but I sang a Mercy Me song, I Can Only Imagine.
You did?
Which is a really hard song to sing when you're going through puberty. I'll just lay that out there.
Did you smash it, or did you get smashed by it?
It actually went really well.
Really?
It did. And that's honestly the moment I knew that music was it for me. Just kind of felt the call.
And you were how old again at this time?
13.
13 years old.
Yeah. So between 13 and when I graduated high school, that's whenever I was really putting in the time.
How much time a day are you practicing at this point?
At least 2 hours working on music a day. Some days more, some days probably a little less.
2 hours a day?
At least.
Now,
yeah.
Chup, I want to look up Proverbs 10:4 because I'm not sure
if the Bible has anything to say about work ethic. It probably doesn't. That book, it's pretty much about just non-applicable spiritual vagaries, not about work ethic. So if you look that up real quick, I'd like to have you read that notable quotable here.
Proverbs 10:4 is lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth.
Or people that don't practice don't get better. People that practice get better. So you're practicing. Just grinding every day. You're grinding from age 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How old are you right now?
26.
When did you get on the TV show? Explain to the listeners out there, what was the TV show that you found yourself on? How did that occur?
Yeah, when I was 19 to 20 years old, I did American Idol.
And never heard of it. Have you heard of American Idol?
American what?
American what? We don't get out much. We don't know what that is.
American Bridal. Is that
American Bridal?
Wow,
is that a thing still?
It's a horse store.
Well, not nice. That's where Dr. Z goes to get his goods. That's amazing.
Right. That's his new. Yeah.
Okay, so
I think it's called a tax shop. Actually.
So you're on American Idol, whatever that show was.
Yep.
And did you finish last? Were you one of the people that we kind of, people who are not aware they're not good, and they're passionately performing, or were you good?
That would have been me.
I was somewhere in the middle.
In the middle.
I didn't finish first.
Okay.
Because you two didn't vote.
Oh.
But I finished seventh.
Yeah.
Nice.
But you got in front of some people, some exposure.
Yeah, it was good.
Now, when did you meet this lovely lady? When did you meet Miss Annie? How old were you when you guys met there?
I was 20 when we met.
Okay.
Really funny story. We were out in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I had just come off of the TV show. I was out there rehearsing for the tour that takes place after the show.
Okay.
We met through a friend of a friend. I was not old enough to go inside this venue in Los Angeles. I'm telling the story, baby. Bear with me.
Oh, boy.
She's giving me the kill signal.
You went into like a McDonald's. You're not old enough.
Right, that's right.
You're not old enough. Okay.
I think it's too good enough to tell. I wasn't old enough, so I had to bum someone else's ID to go see this guy perform in this venue. And I won't say who it was, just for his sake. But got inside the venue. All this to say, God works in really funny ways.
Yeah.
So I met my wife inside this club in L.A., where we saw a guy named Jamar Rogers.
Jamar Rogers.
And it was awesome. We hit it off. And
you and Jamar hit it off?
My wife and I.
Oh! I thought you and Jamar
That's
Rogers.
cool, too.
That's cool. I mean, that's an interesting start to know. Okay, so then, Annie, now when you met this guy, how did you know that he was the dude, the right one, the right fit? I mean, was it the hair? Is it the hair? What was the deal?
Well, funny enough, the night I met him, he had a hat on. So I didn't know he had this crazy hair.
Nice.
I hadn't heard him sing. I didn't watch the show. So I kind of got to know him for who he was, just, without all of that.
Just regular dude.
Just regular dude.
Oh, yeah.
But the more I heard, his heart, and the more we just kind of talked about, just things about ministry and stuff, the more I just thought, this is a really cool guy to get to know. So
how did you get onto American Idol? Did you just lay around, hanging out, doing nothing, just sleeping in till noon every day, eating Cheetos, not practicing, and all of a sudden, bam, you're in there? Or did you have to go audition? What were the steps to get on that show?
There's quite an audition process. Before you even make it on the first round of television, there are 4 other audition rounds that the world never really sees. However, I wasn't really wanting to do American Idol. It was kind of my sister's dream to go on the show. She sings as well.
Really?
So I kind of went with her. We had watched the show, but I went with her. And during that process, she kind of convinced me just to do it with her.
Okay, yeah.
What did we have to lose? Was still pursuing music in the meantime. Just didn't think that would be the avenue.
Right.
Long story short, we both tried out. We both made it.
Really?
It was really crazy.
Are your parents just ridiculously talented people?
Not musically.
Okay.
At all.
Good
Okay.
save. Good save.
Good save. Okay. So you guys get on the show. You obviously did well. And now, when did this become a career where you were able to get a record deal? How did that happen?
As soon as Idol was done, whenever I was eliminated, I was immediately picked up by the management portion of the show called 19 Management, and they had me writing songs. I wrote probably 50 or 60 songs before we chose from that to make a record. But it was that summer, so a couple months, and I was signed to a label.
Now, your wife sings, so I want to get this dynamic. When you write music, Have you been trained classically, or have you gone to formal training on how to write songs, or did you just intuitively know how to do this before?
Songwriting is interesting because I don't know if there's not necessarily a right or wrong.
Right.
So I really think it's just a matter of experience.
Yeah.
The more songs you write, the better you're going to get at it. It's just
So right now that you're married, right? Okay, so this is the problem I have with my marriage. I'll tell you that. I'll confess here. My wife is smarter than me. So what she'll do is she'll say, no, that's not going to work. And I'm like, do you have any idea how profoundly hilarious the material I have just written is incredible. This is incredible stuff. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to smash it. I get up there to speak for Hewlett-Packard, and it bombs. But I use recovery humor because I'm a smart guy. And I was like, and folks, they get worse, so stick around. And I kind of recover, and I'm like, see. But then everyone goes, that was really bad. And then she's like, see. So it's kind of a thing where like now I've realized she knows. Does she give you feedback objectively, or is it like she just lets you do what you do? I mean, is there a creative process together now, or how do you work together in a marriage with music writing? Are you a part of that? Do you participate in this? Or
I've learned I don't have a very good face to like fake if I actually don't like something. It's really hard for me to hide it.
that is
right. That's the mean thing women do.
So, with artists, you have to be really careful because their creative process is like part of them. So it's a very like sensitive thing. So
right.
You got to let them down gently if there's something where it's like, I don't know, that's going to, but I mean, he's awesome at what he does. He's really great. And, it's always fun to hear what he comes up with. If anything, it's like, I think you can do better.
Now, you obviously have hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people who've been exposed to your music, but for anybody out there who's not heard of you before or doesn't know, our audience, we have primarily business owners. We're in the top 10 here of iTunes, so we got a lot of business owners. They're working all day, work trucks, work vans, they're working. Where can they find more about you? Like, where would you direct them? What's the single point where you say, go here to hear my stuff?
Yeah, coltondixon.com. It's got links to social media stuff if you're into that, but it's got music, it's got merch there, it's got touring, it's got everything.
And could you spell that? A lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs, which means that we can't spell.
Totally.
So we have no idea really how to spell anything. We don't know.
COLTONDIXON.COM.
Now here's the tough question. This is the question you're going to go, why did you ask me that? Why? You guys are married and you travel a lot of success, a lot of fans, a lot of obligations, a lot of social media. What's the toughest part, Annie, being married to somebody whose your name is well known in a lot of circles? What's the toughest part as a wife? I mean, what's the toughest part of that, being married to somebody who's, experiencing success as you guys are traveling around the country? What's the toughest part?
It's a good question. I think now that we're married, it's honestly a lot easier because I kind of see like what's really going on in the day-to-day. But it's really cool that I get to travel with him because we get to share that time together. I think if I was like at home, like working full time, and then he's on the road playing video games part of the day and then working at night, it's kind of like, but,
threw me under the bus.
Oh.
He really isn't that bad. But, yeah, I think it's just a challenge sometimes too, because, when you're in a work environment with your spouse, things, you just have to learn to work together, under pressure and under stresses, and you learn how the other one ticks. And so we've gotten a lot better at that. And I just try to support him in what he does and just kind of be there for him and have his back. And
when we get back from the break, I want to get kind of into deep dive of what your daily schedule looks like as a music artist. I think a lot of people want to know, how does it look on a daily basis? Like, what time are you waking up? What do you do? Just the day-to-day of a professional musician, of a music artist. I think a lot of people maybe have a different perspective of what you do. They probably think you're sleeping in till noon because you perform at 7. But what does that look like? What's it like to be a Christian pop music star, if I can call you that? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get more into the life and times of Colton Dixon and his incredible wife, Miss Annie. And then Clay Stairs, America's $1 million business coach, former school teacher, will join us on segment number 2. Stay tuned.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former U.S. SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I've taken algebra 3 times to be here with you today. Taken the SAT 3 times.
It's impressive.
Well, I really wanted to make sure that I really dominated it, And so the first time I went in low just so I could relate to the other people that score 17.
Dip your toe into the jacuzzi.
Second time I want to get 21 just to relate to people at the bottom how they feel. Yeah. And then I got a 24 because I had to pass.
Well,
I just finally had to do it. I finally had to do it. And so today we have a very talented person on the show by the name of Colton Dixon. But before we get into people that have talent and skill, we have Clay Stairs on the show, America's millionaire school teacher. Chubb, I want to call you out on something. Is it okay if I call you out on the show?
Please do.
I walked into the restroom today. I go in there and I notice that there's somebody on their knees, right, using the urinal like a drinking fountain. And I said to myself, this has got to stop. And I couldn't verify the face, but it reminded me a lot of you. And then I said, Chop? And you said,
okay, time out.
It's not me.
Time out.
And I said, whoa. It was just like, I realized that you're passionate about the janitorial service we have, but that's shameless, brother. You can't be testing that out and using a urinal as a drinking fountain.
Are you telling me that we didn't get water fountains installed in the bathroom?
I've told you this. I know it was shockingly clean. But
why do they look so great now?
Because we've used the classic janitorial service.
Those are urinals.
Chubb, what's their phone number? I'll let you calibrate what just happened.
918-671-2048. These are the guys over at theclassicclean.com. Classic Janitorial. Get a hold of those guys if you have an office or a church or a restaurant, something you need to get cleaned on a regular basis. They're actually going to include a deep clean of your high-traffic flooring areas, tile or carpet.
For all new customers.
All new customers,
right.
Correct. New customers.
Right.
And normally other companies are going to add on like $1,000 for that. So they're going to include it for all new customers. 918-671-2046, theclassicclean.com.
The Classic Clean. Give them a call, and you might say, you're only endorsing them because they're paying you. That's right. That's right. And we actually hired them, too, and they do a great job. But I'll tell you what, if you advertise on our podcast, you're going to get more money than you're paying us because I'm a shameless endorser. So now it's time for me to shamelessly plug.
Too. How about that?
Now it's time for me to shamelessly plug Colton Dixon. Now, Colton Dixon, you might be saying, who's Colton Dixon? Well, let me tell you who Colton Dixon is. This guy is a Christian pop music star. My daughter goes to St. Augustine School, and I was telling her a little bit about the Colton Dixon factor, and her friend is like, Colton Dixon? Is that what? In our office today, Roberta was excited, and so Roberta has some questions. She's in our office. She works in our office, and she has some questions for you that she wants me to ask you.
Love it.
So now I'm gonna get out the single light bulb, and I'm gonna interrogate you, and I'm gonna get the water board too. I know it's intense.
Turn up the heater.
Tough questions.
The ways of making you talk.
So, do you ever get nervous still while performing on stage?
Yes. I don't think it would be normal if there was not a little hint of nerves. I feel
How much nerves?
Depends on the show. At the start of a new tour, pretty nervous. But once you settle into the groove, a lot less nervous. However, I've had some doozies on stage as well. So,
really?
Yeah, I've forgotten words in front of 60,000 people before. It's not
I watched Bieber's
thing.
live BBC performance where he forgot the words, and I thought, if Bieber can forget a lyric, I now feel good. Because I go to church sometimes, and I'm like, I don't really remember anything but the chorus. You know what I mean? So I just will sing kind of like, do you know what I'm saying about this?
I'm with you.
You go to church,
I'm that way with every song.
I'm with you.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of mumble it, and then I'll get to the chorus, and I'm passionate.
4 words that I know.
Yeah, kind of soccer mom.
That's right.
Now, Clay Stairs, you are a motivational speaker. You're a trainer. You've spoken for like Ping Golf Clubs. You shared the stage with Gary Vaynerchuk, who, by the way, we're beating right now on iTunes. Not that I keep track, but Gary, I'm starting a relief fund to help you make an extra. For as little as $10,000 a day, you too could feed Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, so I want to ask you this here. Do you ever get nervous as a speaker there, Clay Stairs?
I get nervous until I have the microphone in my hand.
Really?
Once I have the mic in my hand.
Then you freak out.
No, once I have the mic in my hand, I got it.
Yes, but you would so thick, Thee.
But until I have the mic, are they going to like me? Are they going to boo? Are they going to? But once I have the mic in my hand and I look at the audience, I go, "Oh yeah, I'm taking you on a ride."
But when you do the worm across the stage, it's really nice.
Just using your body. You're just hiding behind your body.
And I thank you. And I love it if there are other speakers that have gone before me.
Oh, yeah. The guys who bomb?
Yeah, the guys. I'm just going, I am going to dominate.
Oh, I love the boring guy
who
goes first.
I love it. Yeah, let me go after him, please.
I had a speaking event one time where they said, ladies and gentlemen, it's the International Community Bankers Association in Vegas.
Oh, there's a good
And
group.
they said, hey, here's the deal. These are all these community banks from all over the world. And they look at the agenda, and there's like Joe Montana's on there, and all these different people, And then there's me, and they literally announced me, and everyone left.
Yeah.
It was like a room of like 500 people seeing Joe Montana. He's talking about Jerry Rice and winning championships, the 49ers. And they're like, our next speaker, Clay Clark. And they're all like,
yeah.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Well, Clay,
for like an hour and a half.
That's how I was at the Vaynerchuk event.
They're just pieced out.
Yeah, I'm talking during I'm talking during cocktail hour.
Okay,
that's a good time.
We have Colton Dixon. I got to interrogate him with some more questions for Roberta here. Okay,
we're back.
Does singing or performing come naturally to you, or is it something that you had to work towards? I think she's asking, are you on steroids?
Right. The answer to that question is no.
Okay.
Which is good.
Okay.
Man, I feel like everyone kind of has their safe place where they just feel comfortable. For you, I think it would be this amazing man cave that we're in right now.
Yeah. I don't ever want to leave.
For me, it's honestly behind a piano.
Really?
That can be on stage, off stage, it doesn't matter. I just feel really comfortable behind a piano. It's kind of how I journaled through high school. It was just comfortable, safe place.
So what's one of the songs that you've journaled that you feel like is the most authentic? Not that you're writing music you don't believe in, but I'm saying, what's the song where you go, that song really connected with me during a time in my life, and every time I sing it now, it still brings me back to that time? Or do you have a song that kind of was like, this song right here is my journey personified? I mean, this song right here, you got to hear this one.
I think there are several songs that I've just really connected with that I've written over the years. One that doesn't necessarily tie into my story, but ties in with my wife and her family story, is one called "The Other Side." My wife's brother went to be with Jesus just a few years ago, a few months before we met.
How old was he, if I could ask?
He was 21,
Ooh.
correct?
Yeah, sorry to hear
that. But it was the coolest thing when Annie and I met. She was just so happy, and she was all smiles. And from a world's perspective, it doesn't make sense because of what just happened. But just the perspective that she had, the heavenly perspective, it was just amazing to witness that firsthand. So out birthed this song called "The Other Side," just about loved ones who've gone up ahead of us. We'll be with them soon. And
when my dad passed away from ALS, I literally, as soon as the funeral was over, I went in the parking lot, and this pastor comes out, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come in and grieve or whatever that thing?" I know, I'm actually excited for him. I'm going to hang out by this tree because he's in a good spot, and I've been with him this entire time.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. I literally was like excited, and he thought I had he knew I had a psychological problem, but he just verified it then because he's like, "You're not sad at all." I go, "Honestly, I am so excited. I'm going to miss him." But he's just like, this is like, if you believe that this is the ultimate prize, I mean, he's just got, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that song that you said? What's the name of the song
it's
you were
called "The Other Side"?
The Other Side.
Yeah.
Thrive Nation, check out The Other Side. You got to check it out. It's Colton Dixon. If you haven't heard his stuff, you're really missing out. I tell you what, Chubb, this might be too hard of a shameless plug, but if you don't want to ruin your life and throw your life to the complete bottom, go check out ColtonDixon.com. If you don't want to just throw away an afternoon, I mean, why ruin your life? Go to Colton Dixon.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Go check him out. He's a great American. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the day-to-day journey of a pop Christian music star. And I want to get his wife back on the show to get her perspective. Stay tuned.